Hey kids, Miss Cannon here. If you are watching this video, then you should have received the packet titled 4th grade multi-step problem of the day story problems. There are 10 of them on here. I'm going to go over the first 5 of them with you here from my lovely love seat in my living room. If you hear random noises like bear barking, that might be that he's chasing away a squirrel. Denver's just rolling over in his cage. I apologize for the cars driving by. New age teaching, here we are. All right, so let's try to learn some math word problems from home. How we're going to set these up? Let me pull up the first problem. I apologize. Again, if this is not the right video, there are a couple of them because most of us are working on word problems. Make sure that you have the right video. Number 1 on your task card says that Peter served pizza at his party. The pizza was cut into 20 pieces. If each boy had 4 pieces of pizza and there were none left over, how many boys must have eaten the pizza? First step to solving this, we need to underline what we're trying to figure out. How many boys must have eaten pizza? Go ahead and underline that now because that's the question that we need to solve in this problem. The next thing that we need to do is circle our relevant information. What information do we need out of this problem in order to set it up and solve it? Well, what I do know is that there were 20 pieces of pizza. And that there were 4 pieces of pizza eaten by each person, each boy. Each boy ate 4 pizzas. Make sure that you have this labeled. Make sure that you have enough information so that when you go back, you know that you can't solve a word problem without having some kind of label on the answer. Could be elephants, fuzzy slippers, my dog named Denver. Let me know. Okay? So, now we have our important information circled. We know that there were 20 pieces of pizza to start and that each boy ate 4 pieces of pizza. What we want to know is how many boys were there. So let's go ahead and set this up. Sorry, I was going the wrong way. Let's go ahead and set this problem up. Well, what is it asking us? Do I need to do multiplication, division, addition, or subtraction? Well, if there's 20 pizzas and I'm trying to figure out how many boys there are because each one of them ate 4, I need to break 20 pieces into 4 groups of 4. 20 into groups of 4. 20 into groups of 4. You're right, division. So let's go ahead and set this up as a division problem. Now, several different ways that we can solve this. All of them work depending on which one works best for you. Some of you are going to look at this and say, I know my facts. 20 divided by 4 is, write it down. However, some of us may need to go through our multiples. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One other way that we know that we can handle breaking a number into groups, if I have 4 groups that I need the number broken into, is to just draw a diagram. Now I have my 4 groups. I need to drop 20 I need to drop a total of 20 evenly into the 4 groups, so you're just going to do it one at a time. Again, whichever way that we chose to do it, we can see that there's 5 in each group, or we know our facts, or we just knew it right off the rip because numbers that end in 0 are always divisible by 5 or 0. Don't forget, also we know a 10 would go in there. Just quick tips and tricks as we're going through. So that's how you would complete number 1. Not yet. You're right. There's a second part to number 1. It says just below that to write a fraction to represent how many pieces of pizza each boy ate. So how am I going to set this fraction up? Well, first of all, it's asking me how many one boy ate. One boy ate how many pieces of pizza? 1/4. So each boy ate 1/4 of the amount of pizza that was available. Excellent job. Moving on to number 2, we're going to set it up the exact same way. Apologize for the interruption. Number 2, there were 36 cookies in the package. If Sarah had 6 people at her party, how many cookies could each person get if they were divided equally? First thing, underline the question. How many cookies could each person get if they were divided equally? Next thing I want to do, circle the important information. I see that I need to circle 36 cookies and 6 people. Okay? So, as long as I have these 2 important pieces of information circled, I know that it's going to be really easy for me to set up my problem. Here's the other thing I know. We're only doing 1-step problems right now. Some of you need to be doing some 2, 3, and 5, 10. You know how it is in 7th grade, 8 million steps to a problem. So this is a little bit easier for us because I just see 2 numbers. And if it's again asking me how to divide it out equally, I yet again see, as our facts get easier for us, some of us know. The fastest way to solve this, though, would be to write out our facts. And I don't mean putting it into a calculator for those of you, because I know that there's one of you out there, and I'm fairly sure that if you got this packet, that you've already put this into a calculator, you probably already solved it, and you're like, where do I drop this off at? The point of this is to get better at our facts. Slow down and write them out. I'll be checking for work to be completed like I'm doing. Thank you. 6, 12. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 24. 30 and 36. I'm there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The answer here excuse me. The answer here, well, that's terrible to be choking on your own spit in the middle of making a video in the middle of a pandemic about viruses that make you cough. That's not the coronavirus. That was me choking on spit. I promise. If I was sick, I will let you know. Again, the answer is not 6 here. Is it 6 elephants, 6 stars, 6 Miss Cannons? What are we talking about? Well, we wanted to know how many cookies each person could eat if the 36 were divided equally. Therefore, the answer is 6 cookies. Very good. Again, second part to this problem is seeing which fraction represents how many cookies each person received. Well, here you're going to see that it didn't use the 1/4 like we did last time. This time it's asking us which one is also correct. We used a simplified form last time. Let's take a look when it's not in simplified form. We have 6 over 36, 36 over 36, or 2 over 36. It's asking us which one of these fractions is equal to us knowing that each person got 6 cookies. Starting to see where this problem in this worksheet is going? Division is the same thing as fractions. We've already discussed this, especially in Miss Larson's class after school. We've talked about how if you have a fraction, you have a division problem. So we're going to be working on these as division problems as fractions from here on out on the rest of the paper. Again, looking at these 3, if I take a look, I know that if I divide 36 by 36, the answer is 1. If I divide 2 into 36, one person gets, 36 divided by 2 would be half of 30 is 15, and then half of 6 is 3. So it would be 15 and 3 is 18. 1 gets 18. No. Try again. If I look over here, I see that this fraction represents my division problem. Therefore, go ahead and circle 6 over 36 because that's our fraction that represents how many cookies each person gets. Oh, by the way, because this is my first set of videos coming out, you guys know how fast I talk and sometimes I get ahead of myself. Been super nervous about putting these out. If you have any questions, email me. You guys have my email. You guys can add me, or have your parents add me at Teach Canon on Facebook. Everything on there is private unless I share it publicly. Your names will never be on there. Also, Lorraine Prep, you can check out their Facebook page too. I am affiliated with that, just not my personal one. That one is 18 and over only. These videos will also be uploaded to my teacher account. I apologize for that sidebar. Moving on. We know that I have them all the time. Squirrel moment brought back to you in 3, 2, 1. Catch your bubble. All right, number 3 on our problem. There are 2,174 employees at the warehouse. 693 of them work in the manufacturing department. The rest of them work in the office. How many more employees work in manufacturing than in the office? Again, we're going to set up that ratio, which automatically leads me into the division problem. You guys can go ahead and underline the question if you would like. How many more employees work in the manufacturing than in the office? Excuse me. Circle the important information, which is 2,174 employees, as well as 693 in manufacturing. I have no idea if that's an appropriate abbreviation for manufacturing. However, I'm working on a small space because, again, this is a love seat. I'm literally touching end to end. We're working in a small area here. Okay, so we have 2,174 employees at the plant. We have 693 of them in manufacturing. I want to know, or the question is asking you, how many more employees are in manufacturing than in the office? I must back up. I read this completely wrong. How many more employees work in manufacturing than in the office? So what we're trying to look at here is that we need to get an this problem is not right. I'm going to tell you right now. And I didn't proof check this one because the first couple of them were good. I should have done this beforehand. I'll tell you what, because this is one of those times in the middle of it where this is actually wrong. Because if you look at this, it's asking us how many more work in the office than in manufacturing. Take a look at the problem. There's 2,000 employees in this, and only 693 of them are in manufacturing. I hate to be the one to break it to whoever made this worksheet. 2,000, and you take away roughly 700. Let's do an estimation problem. If I'm doing this, we're going to turn this into an estimation problem. This is where Miss Cannon turns into the flexible teacher. You know how I do crazy things, and all of a sudden we're talking about brown fluffy bears. One of those moments. Get ready, kids. We're going to go on a ride with this problem. Ready? Don't know what this person was thinking. So there are 2,174 employees working at this plant. 693 of them are in manufacturing. The rest of them are in the office. Okay? If I'm going to estimate this, I want a rough estimate of how many people are in the office. Looking at this number, I'm going to go ahead and use this number 1 to either round up or round down. You got it. I'm going to say that this is 2,000. Looking at 693 people in manufacturing, I'm going to use the 9 to round the 6. 700, you got it. If I do this rough estimate and I use 2,000 and I take away 700, roughly that leaves me with 1,300 people. This is when you get really good at math and then you're like, hey, what were you thinking? Because now if you go back and reread the question that the lady gave us on this worksheet, she said, how many more employees work in manufacturing than in the office? Well, lady, more people work in the office, so I'd say none. Let's move on to number 4. Julian read an equal number of minutes each night for 4 nights. I hope you guys are reading at home. On the 5th night, he read for 50 minutes. How many minutes did Julian read for each night of the first 4 nights if he read for 3 hours and 50 minutes during the week? Well, first of all, that's a whole lot of information all in one problem. So let's go ahead and clear our board.